Hello and welcome back to Rolling Solo. My name is Adam Smith and we have one thing to do before we begin the next video here for the Sun Spire, and that is to move the round counter up to 4 as we're beginning the 4th round of this. I think we got a pretty good shot at making this happen, so let's do it. We're going to go ahead and pick 2 cards for the Craigheart. We want to get them from the 2nd level down to the main level as fast as possible. That might mean doing something silly like jumping over the edge, and the only reason I'm going to do that is because we got the Sun Demons sitting on the stairs, so we can't go through the stairwell. So we're going to have to do something by jumping over the edge, but I'm thinking of doing some pretty good attacks. I'm going to use a level 2 card that we added in the upkeep phase, which allows me to heal 2 and attack 2 as well. Now this is for everyone that's inside of the area of effect, but I've obviously be going for that triangle of 3 right there. We can do this from a range of 3 away, which is pretty handy, so I can get myself even to, let's say, here, or even here, but likely I'll probably just put myself here so I can keep myself in distance from the Sun Sphere. Oh, actually, this Sun Demon, will end up getting to me regardless, so I'll probably just land here somewhere. So we're going to go ahead and use this one, and then we need to generate some movement, and we want to go early so that they're all clumped together like that. So 35 is probably as early as I can go. That's the highest initiative card I've got, or lowest, I guess, in this case. So 35 will be the Craighearts, and then we'll go over to the Tinker. Now the Tinker is stuck on the top level, so we need to generate movement to get through the rubble, which will cost him 2 to get down to this rubble level. And then from there, we can run over the edge. With the other 2, we could use movement 1 and then 2 to drop down. We could even drop on the coin per se. And then at that point, we're going to want to do some type of attack or something in order to do some damage to these guys. So what we're going to do is, and I might even create some traps here. Might be kind of cool to do in order to hurt some of these guys. Let's do. For an attack, I mean, we got the hook gun as well. The hook gun is better used when we get a trap down because I can drag somebody through it, which would be funny. Potentially one of the Sun Demons would be amazing if I could pull that off. Actually, maybe that's what we should do. So maybe I'll use the proximity mine, create 1 damage 6 trap and adjacent empty hex, gain 2 when the trap is sprung. So that might be not bad. So we're not going to go for taking anybody down, but we're going to set up to take out one of these Sun Demons. So we need to generate 4 movement. Oh shoot, that's the only 4 movement card I have, so I have to use it for the bottom. Well, that just ruined that plan. I could summon a decoy in the meantime in order to have some attack be going that character's way. That might not be bad. I also get some XP from that. Do I summon the decoy or not? That is the question. You know what, maybe that's not... well, I guess I got the damage... The poison traps are not bad. So create 2 damage poison trap and an adjacent empty hex. That's not bad. And then I can use the hook gun later. So let's do that. So that's not going to make the Tinker very, very useful, being that he's going to go very late. So we'll have to see how that pans out. But we got a 62 and a 35. We're going to go ahead and pull cards for all the characters remaining. We have 1 Black Imp Elite in the back there. So I'm going to turn these over so that we remember that we still have to... These are just the discarded pile from previous rounds. And these ones, none of these had to be shuffled, so that's good. We didn't forget about that. All right, so let's go ahead and flip these over. So the Imp, 37 again, exact same as before. 54 for the Scout, and actually, so they're all, and 17. So actually, Sun Demons are going really early. But the good thing is they're just healing themselves, so that's great. We don't have any damage on them anyway. So they are going first. They're going to go ahead and heal where they're sitting. They're not going to move, but it does say they have a range of 3, so that's kind of bad because we know when the Sun Demons have, or when an enemy has range, it means means that any ally within Y hexes, so the 3 hexes, or the figure performing the heal can be targeted by the heal. So that's nasty because what's going to essentially happen is the Sun Demon is going to go ahead and it's going to heal the Black Imp who's right next to him for 3, and then this guy can heal him for 3. So essentially the 6 damage that's on the Black Imp is now completely removed thanks to the Sun Demons. So that's really bad because I was hoping to get down there and take them out before that had a chance to happen. But I didn't even realize these guys could heal, but now I do. And then the other thing it says here is we can consume the sun element and target all adjacent allies within range. Oh, and sorry, you guys, just one other thing that I completely forgot from the last round. I think it was on the Tinkerer. Maybe it wasn't. Nope, it wasn't the Tinkerer. Oh yeah, it was the Ink Bomb. We used this for its night ability, so we'd had it up in the strong column, so at the end of the round it should have waned down, so it should be here now. But yeah, sorry, so there's nothing here to consume in terms of, and just so you guys are aware as well, I also checked the rules and it said, it was kind of weird how it actually worded, but monsters will always consume the element if they can. And it's kind of vague that way. I know there's probably some better wording in the FAQ online in terms of how that works, but when they say if they can, like my assumption is if they can use their ability, would be my guess. So I'm going to go ahead and say that for now I'm going to play it, they're going to consume it because they're going to use it at all chance they get. But there may be some different ruling on that, but it didn't affect our gameplay at the moment and didn't change anything, so I think we're okay. So we're going to go ahead here and with the Craig Hart, and we got the, I think he's next. Yes, he is next. So let's go with the Craig Hart and do some fun. So we're gonna go ahead and use this one for a move too. I wanted to use it for a loot, but it's just not a worthwhile thing to do yet. So we're gonna have the Craig Hart. He's gonna go 1 to the edge here where this loot is, and then he's going to drop, and he's gonna fall over the edge. Now it costs 1 movement to drop down over the edge, so he's chosen to done that. His poison marker comes with him. So he does take 2 damage because you take half the value of a trap damage. So 2 damage brings him down to 9 because he was at 11 before, and now he's on the bottom level. So this card now has been discarded, and now we're going to go ahead and do what's called Sentient Growth. Sentient Growth, and it's going to be an attack with a range of 3. Now it's really perfect in that we have all of them bunched up like that, so I'm going to be able to go ahead and attack all of them and just hope that I can do some damage to all of them. Again, I get to heal it affects all allies in the targeted area, so the downside is I'm not healing anybody, I'm just attacking everyone. So we'll pick our first one being the Vermling Scout. We're going to go ahead with attack 2 and see what we can pull off and hope for the best here. Nice, so the Vermling Scout is completely destroyed. So 4 is way past enough to kill a regular Vermling Scout. So that Vermling Scout is off the board. 1 less creature to deal with. We only have 3 left now. Okay, so then the next attack is going to go towards the elite, and that is the Black Imp in the back. +1, awesome, we're getting some good pulls here. So 3 damage on him. Now he would have been dead if the Sun Demon hadn't have actually healed him, so that's really too bad because we almost got that would have killed him right there. And then we get to actually hit the Sun Demon himself. Now the Sun Demon actually has a shield, and because they're regular, they'll get that extra bonus shield. They have 9 health. So we'll go ahead and pull for the, and another +1, look at that. So really good attacks on, or pulls for the attacks on that. That worked out nicely. We were hitting number 2 in the back there. I think it's hard for you guys to see. So I'll put the 3 damage here, and he's 1/3 the way to a death. Oh, sorry, he's got the shield, so only 2 damage goes on him. Dang it. Okay, and then we heal all affected allies in that range, but there was none, so that area of attack is complete, and this will now go into the discard pile. So his turn is done. We also did the Sun Demon, so I'll just flip those sideways. And the next one to go is the Imps. So there's only 1 Imp here, and he's kind of targeting the Craig Hart being the focus. The Imps move only 1, so he's just going to kind of move himself to here. Now the question will be actually, sorry, because he's ranged, he may not move at all, so he may stay put. Let me just take a look at the rules, or not the rules, but the range. He's got 4 range, so he's not going to end up moving at all because he's doing a move and attack. So he's pretty happy to stay where he's at and attack from distance, which makes perfect sense. Based on the rules, it says if a monster can attack after its movement, it will move the least number of hexes possible in a way that its attack is focusing the enemy with maximum effect. So he's already got that. He doesn't need to move any further. So he'll do an attack at range from me. He attacks with a 1. It's not very strong, but I am poisoned. So it's going to be a 2, and then we flip his monster card. So 2 damage essentially coming towards the Craig Hart. I'm going to take that 2 damage for now, and that's going to be something we're going to have to think about as well. So that Imp is done. So now we'll flip his thing sideways. He's done his damage. And then the next person up would have been the Scout, but the Scouts have been eliminated off the board, so they are now turned sideways, and we go to the Tinkerer. So the Tinkerer's got 2 cards. we were planning on using the move 4, so we're going to have the Tinker come from the very, very, very top level here. We'll have him send all the way through to the rubble pile here, and then he's going to do 2 movement from here. Yeah, it makes sense. 2 movement to go over the edge. Now it kind of sucks because we're hurting ourselves by going over the edge, but at least we're getting close to our friends here, and now we can help each other out a bit. So he'll lose 2 damage for the drop. This 4 move card is now discarded, and we're going to go ahead and create 1 damage 2 poison trap in an adjacent empty hex. So I'm going to go ahead and put that right here. So it's going to sit there. And then this one is going to have, I'll also put a poison marker on it as well, just to be sure that we remember it's not only a trap, but it's a poison trap. Although I know that the green kind of stands for poison, but we'll just put that there so we remind ourselves. And then this card is discarded as well. Gone. Now, the one thing I want to do before this turn is over is we know we're going to have a lot of battles in here, and I don't want to have to long rest as often. So I'm going to, at this point, use my minor stamina potion. I'm going to consume it for the Craig card. I probably should have done that on his turn. I'm going to do the same thing with the Tinker, and we're going to go ahead and take 2 cards. It allows you to, during your turn, to recover up to 2 cards, 2 of your discarded cards, and put them back in your hand. So I'm going to go back into here and I'm going to pick the 2 cards that I want, and I'm obviously going to want something that really does some serious damage. Creating 1 damage 6 trap in adjacent empty hex is huge, but I need the hook gun in order to pull him into it. So that's a useful card. Attack 3 is not bad. Attack 5 is even better. So attack 5 is one I definitely want to use. We want really, really heavy attacks, and the reason being is we need to kill these crazy creatures. So we'll do the attack 5. Do I have anything that targets multiple enemies? Yes. This one attacks 2 enemies at once, so that's not bad. So this may be wise because we know a Vermling Scout's going to come out at some point. And this allows me to attack and attack. They're both at range. That's a really good combo. So these are the 2 cards I'm pulling back. The 18 and the 34. Those are the 2 I'm picking for the Tinkerer. Now we need to think about the ones for the Craig heart that we want to bring back. Maybe some healing might be a good idea. We could have him do some healing, seeing as he doesn't have as many range cards. So we have a heal 4 here, and we have a... Well, I don't know. Attacking is also pretty crazy too. I could get some really deadly attacks in here. Which ones do I want to do? No, I haven't lost a single card yet with the Craig card. It hasn't lost anything, whereas the Ink Bomb was lost from the Tinker earlier on. The Sentinel Growth thing where you hit everybody was kind of cool. This one actually was... Oh, sorry, this one shouldn't be here. I put this in the wrong pile. I'd use this for its... I had used this. This was the only one I had actually lost. So guys, sorry again if I missed this in a previous video. This is in the lost pile. I cannot get this back. I did use that, and that's the only reason I have 2 XP right there. So what do I do in terms of pulling cards back here? What would be the most useful when I've got all those guys there? We want to generate massive amounts of attack against... Oh, I like this one. All allies and enemies adjacent to the target suffer 1 damage. That's pretty cool. So that's a good one. Massive Boulder. That's very cool. Do I have anything that generates healing? Tough to say. Tough to say what's the best in this situation. Healing might not be a bad thing, though. I don't have many heal cards, so maybe let's go the heal because I think we're going to run into a situation, and it gives me the advantage to go early. I don't want the Tinker to get exhausted or anyone to get beat up, and I know these guys are going to start throwing some heavy damage. Tinker is actually pretty low, so maybe we can help him out by healing him. So we'll do that. All right. So those are our 2 discarded. Those are our 2 mana potions discarded, and that's essentially it. Now I think we've covered all the enemies. Yep. And we're good to go. So we do know the Black Imp is still close to death. We got a damage trap here for the next turn. Now we are at the end of the round, so this darkness is going to wane down to nothing. We can determine whether we want a short rest or not. We don't, especially for the Cragheart, who's a straggler and only wants to long rest, so that's why we tried to use our mana potions, so we can get that card. The Aggressor card that the Tinkerer has is a little easier to get. We just have to make sure there's an enemy on the board at the beginning of every round. during the scenario, that should be very simple because we win the round just by killing everybody. So that one's an automatic too, really, if we can successfully win here. So I think we're good that way. The only other thing that would happen, of course, is the round marker would tick its way up to 5, which doesn't really matter at this point. It's just a tick or just a counter to note what round we're on. So I'm going to move that up to 5, and then we're going to take the vermling that's supposed to spawn at the end of the round. We're going to put them wherever we want them. I'm going to say, I guess if we're planning on doing some multiple attacks, we're going to put them right here. I want them to be close to me so I can take them out really quick. I don't want to have them far, far away. And then I think that's pretty good. So I think we got everybody in there. And we're good to go. So that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle any decks to have the shuffle symbol. That's the end of this video. Hope you guys are enjoying. Looks like we're near the end here. We just got to do some, I think on the next turn we're going to do some massive amounts of attacks and see how many of these guys we can wipe out. I'm hoping we can target and take out at least these 2 guys. That would be awesome. The number 2 guy's the most weak though in the back, but not by much. So we'll have to see how this goes. But it'll be a wild one. So anyway, join me in the next video and we'll see how this pans out. So until next time, guys, keep rolling solo.